Welcome to week 2 of the Small Change Challenge. I'm excited that you're here. If you're just joining us and you don't know me, I'm Makove Johnson. I am the host of this group, the Emotionally Healthy Moms, and created this group for a safe place for you to learn emotional skills to heal, and so that you can grow in maturity and give your kids the skills they need to be who they're supposed to be as well. So welcome. I'm glad you're here. As you're joining, say where you're joining from and what your weather is like, because we are here, let's see, April 6th. And yesterday we got like 6 inches of snow, which is not unusual. I live in Alaska. That can happen for another month still and really not be that unusual. But we'd been having like March was our typical April weather. And so people are like, no, it's going to be real. This is really spring. It's really spring. And of course it wasn't, because now we have snow. But tell me where you're watching from and what your weather is like. And let's see, I did some slides, so we'll see if I can do better at using them this week. I set it up different, so it should be easier. So welcome to week 2 of the Small Change Challenge. Last week, we talked about choosing that small change and why small change works. And then this week, we're going to be talking about what can get in our way. Let's see. It takes a minute to change the slides, apparently. So welcome. I'm excited you're here. I do believe small change is powerful. And my biggest hope out of this challenge for you is that you will believe in yourself more at the end of this month, or however long you take to go through this challenge. I have to adjust to how long it takes to switch the slides. So as we're getting started, just some housekeeping of kind of the group and the challenge. The culture in the group, I think I have it on the next slide. This quote I thought summed up the culture really well. As women need other women in their lives who think they are a big deal. No competition, no backhanded comments, no jealousy, no hate. Just, I love you, I support you, and there's no one on the earth like you. That's the kind of culture that wants, kind of culture that I'm going for in this group. It's a place to show up and share and not be judged and not be condemned and not compare, and not be doing that for other women, not be doing that to yourself. Because we don't grow in an environment where we're afraid of being judged or condemned when we make a mistake, because mistakes are part of learning. They're normal and natural. Choosing to do something wrong is different, but just making a mistake because we don't know better, or sometimes we forget and we're human, is normal. There needs to be grace for that. So that's part of the culture here. And then I've put everything, what else was on my slide was the schedule. I guess I do need to go back and look. I don't remember what was on there. Sorry. I put the schedule in the guide here in the Facebook group. And so if you're watching on YouTube or you're watching on my Facebook page, to be entered for the prizes, to get the support of the community, you need to join the community. And I will put a link to that. Let's see if I can put in. There should be a link there. No, my slides went too far. So the schedule, last week's videos, yesterday's Q&A, all of that is in the guide. And like there's a post there about the prizes too, which I might need to update. We'll be giving away our first weekly prize at the end of today's video, so you can stay for that. For the weekly videos, you need to be commenting or posting And so if you're commenting, posting, engaging with it, I'm doing just a random drawing for the weekly prize. And this week, the prize is either a copy of Mess to Majesty, which is my book, or a copy of The Emotionally Healthy Woman, if you already have my book. So that'll be the prize for today. We'll do that at the end. And I'll talk more about what the grand prizes are at the end. I'm giving away some coaching and membership and stuff that I am definitely excited about. I'm going to grab a drink of tea, and it's going to steam up my glasses. Oh, didn't steam up near as bad as last time. So just a little bit more about me. I'm like, why am I doing this? I'm a mom. This is a picture of me with my now 5-year-old. I also have a 22-year-old, a 21-year-old that got married this summer, a 20-year-old that got married this past summer, and who is expecting this coming summer. So I just found out I'm going to have a grandson. So that's pretty cool. And what I share out of my own journey of overcoming and struggling and seeing there's all these changes I want to make and it doesn't seem to work. It doesn't stick. I'm broken. What's wrong with me? And I didn't enjoy feeling that way. So I don't want other women to feel that way either. But I talk to women all the time who do feel that way. So this challenge, my coaching, the group is all trying, I guess, trying to give all of you what I didn't have, kind of like we do for our kids. Like, I didn't have this growing up, so I'm trying to give it to you. I didn't have a safe place for my emotions. I didn't get taught emotional skills, so I'm trying to give that to you so that you don't have to struggle in the same ways that I did. So that's where I'm coming from. And okay, so what gets in your way? Before I talk about what gets in your way, I wanted to talk about a little bit more like why small change works. And one of the things that God told me this last week was showing me, like, he starts with seeds, literally in nature. And Jesus used nature all the time to teach us, the mustard seed of faith the mustard seed that would grow into this great tree that birds could live in and stuff. And, the oak starts from this little acorn and it turns into this massive tree. And I don't know, those massive trees in Hawaii that are like 100 feet across, or Mexico, like, I don't know how big their seed is, but it's nothing compared to what it comes from. And I've always loved the quote, there's, you can ask how many seeds are in an apple, or you can ask how many apples are in the seed. And that's the potential of small change to me. Like, one seed, but then it produces an apple tree, which produces apples that are now full of seeds that can produce more trees. And the tree produces apples year after year after year. Like, how many apples are in that seed? So how much change, how much potential, how much impact is in you making a small change? And some of you have shared your small changes, just getting up a little bit earlier or moving a little bit more, but you're seeing it's building that confidence of, oh, I can do things. I can decide to do something and follow through on it. Does it mean I follow through on everything I decide to do? No, we're still human. We don't always make the best choices. But to begin to break that identity of I'm somebody who never gets anything done. I'm somebody who I could just never get it together. Well, no, see, I got this together. So that can continue to grow because that's the seed I planted and that's what I'm working towards. So believe in yourself, build that confidence. Did you do your paper? Okay, you need to go do that.
What?
No, you need to go do that. So what gets in your way? That's what you're looking at this week. Last week looked at what small changes you could make and how to make it a small change that you really could stick with. But talk about what gets in your way. And I think the first problem with making changes and they don't, oh, I did have my note in here. God starts with seeds. Sorry. So why hasn't it worked before? One of the reasons I think is that we don't believe in ourselves, or we don't take into account what all this change is going to make. It's like, oh, it's just this little change. I just want to do this thing. But Jesus talked about counting the cost, that it would be foolish to decide to build, I don't remember now if it was a house or a tower or whatever, without figuring out what it was going to cost to know if you could finish it or not. And so with our small changes, or in the past, we're just looking at changes, did we really count the cost? Did we look at not only how much time is this going to take or how much money is this going to take, but how much mental energy is it going to take? What things need to shift? What things need to shift so that I can actually follow through on this change? So I think it was in the Q&A yesterday, I talked about, I started growing microgreens. And that's something I wanted to do for my health, for the grocery budget. And I've been thinking about it for a while, and then finally was just like, okay, I've collected enough stuff to get started, so I just need to get started. And so I did. Like one day, like, oh, I'm going to do this. And I went out and I planted my first, I think just one tray.
Oh, you did too.
Oh, Tegan says I started 2 trays at first. Can you go play, please? So I started them. It's like, yeah, it doesn't take very long. And it was a Sunday afternoon, nothing in particular to do. So I go start these trays. And then it's like, oh, I need to water them every day. I need to get out here and take care of these things. So if you can relate to when you're like, oh, this is a good idea, I'm going to do it. And you just jump in, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, wait a minute, how am I going to sustain this? Let me know I'm not alone in that. And so because it's something that can die, or that my efforts will go to waste if I don't get out there and water them every day, I have been successful. I think I missed one day of getting out there and taking care of them. But it's something that I enjoy. I like the dirt. I like the plants. Now that we've been able to eat some, I'm even more excited about it. They taste really good. Especially after a winter of not fresh greens up here. But I didn't take into account, so it's kind of a bad example of like, well, I'm making it work without counting the cost first, but the part of the cost has been, hey, that noise is annoying.
Mom,
What?
I want to get Caleb to go and play in the snow.
Okay, you'll have to wait till I'm done, and you know that. Go do your paper like you're supposed to.
But I don't know what I'm going to do.
It's on the table. Yes, Mom.
But another thing.
Yes,
I
Mom.
want to.
Yes, Mom. You don't get to go outside until it's done. Are you taking those out to do your paper? Okay, thank you.
I need pencils.
Okay.
I like pencils.
Okay, so not counting the cost has meant like I have chosen to stay successful in that, but some of the other small habits I had been working on, like journaling every day, doing a brain dump every day, which I've just chosen to focus on again. Like, no, I really do want to do that, but that went by the wayside because now I have this other thing that I have to remember to do every day. And I'm just not at a state in my life, whether it's age or part of it is health, just not the level of focus and clarity because of health stuff that's going on. And so like, I need to focus on one thing and get that in a good habit. And when I bring in a new habit, to make sure it's going to be successful, which is a process we're going to continue to work through this month. So this week is what's going to get in my way. So, like my goal was planning my day. Sorry. I had to regroup after. Grab a drink of tea and regroup. Okay, so just making changes without counting the cost. Like, I want to exercise, but what's that going to cost? How much time? Do I have the energy? When do I have the time? Do I have the money if I need to get new equipment or want to join a gym or, you know, whatever? Like, there's cost to all these things. And even planning my day, what's the cost? Well, it's going to cost me time somewhere. So where's that time going to come from? And then sorry, I made slides to help me stay on track, and they seem to be doing the opposite for me today. So part of counting the cost is looking at what's going to get in your way. So it can be just plain not remembering. Like, that's my first of like, oh yeah, I decided I was going to do that. And so figuring out what's it going to take so I can remember. Feeling like it's too hard. We take something too big and it's just too much to change all at once. Not preparing, not thinking, not have counted the cost and go, okay, if I want to exercise, then when am I going to do that? And what am I going to wear? And how much time? As I forget, like, okay, I want to exercise for 30 minutes. So I schedule 30 minutes. Well, that doesn't work because I need the time to get ready to exercise and I need the time to clean up after exercising. And, you know, so like putting all of that in, that's part of counting the cost of it. And that's why I encourage you to start with just a small change of, if I wanted to start exercising, then, excuse me, maybe I just need to start with, you know, if I'm going to go for a walk every day, maybe I just need to start with getting my shoes on and going out the door, you know, or just getting my shoes on, or, you know, something small of like, okay, I'm starting this so that it can grow. I'm planting that seed instead of trying to produce a full grown fruit producing tree from nothing. Like, let's let it grow. Sometimes schedules keep us from succeeding because we didn't take things into account, or maybe there's things we have to take out of the schedule to add this new habit, but we didn't want to do that. Sometimes there's other people like, well, if I do this, then they're used to me doing that. So our people pleasing can get in the way of us changing. And the biggest reason I think we fail to change is what we think about ourselves. We think we're not capable. We're thinking, well, sometimes there are thoughts. Sometimes it's the enemy's thoughts. So if you're thinking, oh, I don't know if I can do this. I've never done it before. I've always struggled in the past. Those are your thoughts and they're not helpful. You can deal with them, but keeping them isn't helpful. And then you also have the enemy can be telling you, who do you think you are? Why do you think you can do this? You've never done this before. You know, so we tend to talk to ourselves in first person. I don't know if I can do this. I'm not sure about this. It's first person. You are a failure. You can never do this. That's someone else talking to you. That is the enemy. He is called the accuser of the brethren. So that is the voice of the accuser accusing you. You are a failure. You can't do this. So distinguish those thoughts. And sometimes he's been telling us long enough that we have adopted it and we're now agreeing with him and saying those same things. But that's for another time. For this, just be aware. What are those thoughts that are telling you you can't do it, or it's not going to be worth it, or whatever? But those thoughts can definitely get in the way of you making a small change and keeping it, because you don't think you're worth it. You don't think you're capable. You don't think you're good enough. You don't think you're deserving. All those kinds of things at a super subconscious level most of the time. So we'll get more into that in the last week of the month. But so just looking at what is getting in your way. And so that's your challenge for the week, is to look at what are the things that might get in my way, from the very practical of like, oh, I said I wanted to start running and I don't have any running shoes. Or I said I wanted to start running, but I live in Alaska and it's still like I'd have to go out and run in my mud boots right now. So stuff like that, to the paying more attention to those thoughts. And are your thoughts encouraging this change and supporting it, or are they undermining it? And so as you notice those things, post them in the group. And you don't need to wait to respond to one of my posts. You can just post your own thing, like, hey, here's what's going to get in my way. Or, I just realized this is something that could get in my way. You can make your own posts. You're obviously free to comment on mine, but you don't need to wait for mine. You can just post in the group, like, I could see this potentially getting in my way. And we've been doing a great job of encouraging each other. I love to see that community growing. I hope that is encouraging you, that you're feeling a little more connected, a little more supported. It's not too late to invite friends to join us in this challenge. They can jump in the guide and catch up with us. And then again, next Tuesday. So you've got the week to think about the things that could get in your way. And if you're struggling with some of that or wondering what to do with some of that, you can join the live Q&A. I'm doing that on Zoom, and it's airing to the Facebook group as well. But if you want to talk to me and be able to have conversation through what you're struggling with, register at, let me put that in the group or in the chat. Register at mccovejohnson.com/change. Because you have to register to get the Zoom link. Otherwise, you can watch it on the Facebook group and we can chat that way. So then I think let's see. Oh, is talking a little bit more about how I work. Like those things, those really subconscious ways that we're undermining ourselves, those really deep held beliefs that like, I'm not sure I'm worth this. I don't know if I'm good enough. I don't quite know if I can trust God. Like up here in my head, I know all this truth. I know that's how it is. But deep down inside, just not quite sure. That's the kind of stuff I love to work on in my coaching, is getting that truth that you know in your head so that you believe it in your heart and you're living from that instead of living from the lies that have come through being wounded, which is usually what happens. And so I do that through a blend of prayer and coaching and training. So there's prayer ministry, to invite the Lord in and work on those wounds and get his truth right in there at the beginning, because those wounds and those lies are seeds too, and they grow and they're producing fruit. Especially, most of them seem to be planted when we're really young, and so we don't know to be pruning them or uprooting them. So we get to a point in life where we see the fruit of it and it's like, oh my goodness, I have this full grown tree that's like impacting all these areas of my life. How do I deal with this? That's what I do in my coaching, is to go to that root to find where that seed was planted and deal with it there. And we do that through prayer and coaching. And then once that's been healed, especially if it's a tree that's been producing fruit and you've been living with it for your whole life, you need some new skill sets to not let it grow back and to grow something healthy instead. And so the practical training of what those skills look like and how you continue to tend the healthy tree that you're planting and not grow back the unhealthy tree that was causing you problems. And I do that in several different ways. Like I do that here in the community at, there's only a certain level I can do in the community where we're interacting over text, but I'm giving you resources and insights and support. I have a Mom Mentor YouTube channel, which right now, well, I guess there's a couple seasons of videos up. And then right now my Facebook Lives are going in there. But it's a free resource you can share with anybody if you find it encouraging and think they would find it encouraging. Then I have a monthly membership where I do a monthly training on a very small practical skill that you can be putting into your life. And then I'm live 2 other times where you can come on and get coaching in that membership. And then the membership is super supportive because it's women that have committed to maturing emotionally and healing their wounds. And so it's a really nice environment to be able to show up and feel safe and be supported in your journey. That's a monthly membership. I'm hoping to do a group coaching program this summer. We'll see how energy and all that lines up. And then I do one-on-one coaching in my Small and Significant program, which, so a Small and Significant program is one of the grand prizes. It's a year-long program. I'm going to be giving away 3 months of that. And it's, I want to say low key. I don't know if that's the right word. Low key, but impactful. Investing like an hour a week and seeing results. And that's not an hour with me each week. It's an hour with me a month. And then in the in-between time, there's just small little pieces for you to do every day to be growing and nurturing what it is that the Lord planted in you during our conversation. Because I know moms are busy, and I know that sometimes working every week is good, and I'm willing to do that in certain cases. But if you are getting new revelations and new things to focus on each week, it just becomes too much to maintain and you feel like you're losing it. And so giving you a month to, this is what the Lord showed me, and I'm really going to dive deep into that for an entire month, has just been really encouraging and really powerful for the ladies that are going through it. What, Tegan? Not right now. We need to go play till I'm done. Yeah, so I'm giving away 3 months of Small and Significant coaching. I'm giving away 3 months in the membership. Be giving away some courses, and the Small and Significant, the membership, and the courses will go to the top 3 active members. As Facebook shows me how many times you posted, how many times you commented, how many times you reacted to things. And those 3 get combined together and it ranks, who's been most active. So that's how you're winning those. And then I'm also going to do a random grand prize of just everybody who has participated will get entered for 3 months of the small and significant as well. So, excuse me. Let's see. Okay. Prizes. So I'm going to see. I did this. No, wrong thing. I put all of the names of people who participated in this fun little spinner wheel thing. So let's see, is it working? Almost. Okay, I don't know how to get rid of the ad over there, but we've got the wheel with the names of everybody who participated. So I'm going to click to spin it. There it goes. And Brandy is the winner for this week. Here we go. All right. So, Brandy, let me know if I don't think you have a copy of Mess to Majesty, but if you do, then I can send you the Emotionally Healthy Woman instead. But yeah, message me, make sure I have your address, and let me know which book you want, the Mess to Majesty or the Emotionally Healthy Woman. And I think that's all. Let me know how things are going for you. Yeah, just look forward to seeing you in the group.